just responding to, you know, what some women, what goes on through their head when it comes to their significant other being out all the time and not showing them any attention. It's like neglect, but
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it kind of remind me of you remember the artist Sparkle?
Yeah.
With her and R. Kelly,
Be careful.
That was like a response, I guess, to Women's Fed Up, I believe.
Yeah.
And like, to me, that was my like comparison. And you know, you don't really get that no more. You know, you remember Usher Confessions and stuff, and you know, Trey Songz, what's it called? Passion, what was it? Love, Passion. What album? Love, it was Love, Passion, Pleasure, I think.
I have no idea.
I forgot the name of the album, but you don't really get that. You know what I'm saying? Before I go to the next track, you know, a lot of people they'll feel that R&B is dead.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
I don't feel that it's dead. I feel like it's still there. It's just right now there's a wave that's going on. That's like trap. I feel like trap is the wave. Like even R&B singers are merging trap with R&B. Like I feel like something that vibe, because I listen to the youth, like my younger siblings, like my nieces, my cousins, and I ask them what they're interested in, so I can feel it. And they're interested in like trap, like that music that real, you know, it speaks the truth, that's relatable, and also have that vibe, you know.
So like a Bryson Tiller, like that trap soul?
Yeah, trap soul and like Kodak.
Yeah.
Like I love
Kodak, that's you know, Pompano, no 954 in the building.
I love Kodak. Kodak sounds like my entire childhood. Like when I listen to his music, he reminds me of all my family members, like everybody, like in one track. And see, if you're not from Pompano, you won't understand Kodak, because there's a lot of people out there that hate Kodak because of, you know, what he does with his personal life or whatever, just the music he makes. But I just see it as, hey, he's from where I'm from.
I didn't even know they had a part in Pompano called the Noya, right?
The Noya.
The Noya Projects.
Well, that's the Ugly Corner.
Yeah.
That's off of like Henryville.
95, like this block, like the when you're on 95, you can't really see the neighborhoods, like it's blocked because the thing is lifted.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's a little small hood, you know, corner store, houses, whatever. I grew up around there, you know, my entire life. So, I mean, it looks way better than it did back in the days. They fixed it up a little bit, but yeah. My church, my childhood church is literally right there on the corner. It was knocked down after my granddad sold it. Now they build it up to another church or whatever, but
I've been trying to tell people, we like Florida, even though we a lot different from a lot of the other southern states, you know, this still the Bible Belt. Like I always tell people, because they think of the Bible Belt, they think about Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, the Carolinas, Kentucky, but Florida's the Bible Belt too. Like people from up north, like New York and like out west, they'll say like, dang, like, you know, South Florida, like when you go to Dayton, Broward, and Palm Beach, there's always a church or whatever.
yeah.
Either it's a Baptist church, a Catholic church.
For real, there's two churches in my neighborhood, like, and they're less than a mile apart, like less than a mile. Like even in Dillard, there's
a lot of
churches. There's like, well, it's not two, it's more than one. But as far as what I can see outside of my school, 2 churches, you know. So, I mean, but I feel like, see, with that, it's so many, like with the church, I feel like there's more real people outside of church.
Of course, yeah.
Than inside of church.
I agree, because, like, don't get me wrong, I'm one of the people, I don't really go to, like, growing up, my grandma, she was one of the few church women that, like, loved to go to church, and she loved it, like, she was in the choir. So, me and my nephews and my siblings, we was all, like, raised in the church, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom, everybody was raised, like, you know, in the church. So after like probably like middle schoolish, I stopped going because one, my grandma, she wasn't able to go to church no more after her second stroke. So she couldn't really, you know, go no more. So because she was like, it was her and my older sister, they was like the ones that, you know, always made sure I went to church. But as I got grown, like you know, it was times, you know, you kind of lose your faith, you know. Like when I was in 11th grade, I lost faith in everything, you know what I'm saying? But I always tell people if you haven't went through that, or like just question it a little bit, you don't really believe, because I believe after that, like I really was like, you know what, maybe it was just me, question a lot of things, because my 11th grade year was the most hardest year. Like, my grandma, she was sick and stuff. I was doing football. That was like my first year playing varsity football. My grades wasn't I had good grades, but it wasn't at my expectations. I had to get ready for college. Taking them standard testing and stuff like that. So, but after that, I'm like, I feel like if it wasn't for that challenge, I wouldn't be as close to to God than I was 5, 6, 7 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
same
it's true though. Like it's not a lot of. I'm not saying not everybody is fake in church, but you don't have that no more.
Yeah.
You don't have the genuine people that be like, come to church.
Yeah.
But I always felt like nowadays, if you don't go to church, you the devil. I'm like, no, I'm not. I pray every day. I pray when I get up. I always pray before I eat. I pray before I go to sleep, or even in between.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too. Randomly, like it'll happen. See, I drive far. I drive 20 miles to work every day. And I pray every morning before I get on that road. I take the turnpike all the way from Pompano to Delray. Well, it's not 20 miles. It's more like 15, something like that. But I pray. When I wake up, I pray when I get to work, thanking him for getting me there safely, because I've seen so many accidents, or was in traffic because of so many accidents. And, back when I was younger, my grandfather, he built our church, like our family church. He built that from the ground up, and he was the pastor, bishop. He had a stroke. He actually had multiple strokes. The first stroke he had was during service. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I may have been like 7 or 8 or something like that, and I remember that day because it was weird. He walked off the pulpit, and I'm like, church ain't over. Like, normally church lasts a lot longer. As a kid, you waiting for church to be over, and I'm like, what? Church over that? So you knew something was wrong.
Yeah, something was off.
Yeah, he had that stroke then, and everything kind of fell apart. He was like the one that held us together when it came to church and all of that. And I feel like, over like the years, so many changes happened with me, where I would meet new people. They would give me their perspective on God. And it would shift my views, because, I ain't gonna lie, like it made a lot of sense. I just didn't understand how, back in the days, as slaves, how they took everything from us, like everything. We couldn't color, we couldn't do anything that progress like our minds, but they give us a Bible freely, like it's nothing, and I feel like over time the Bible was perverted. The word isn't how it was years and
they
years
had
ago.
different types of Bibles too at that, like this whole bunch of different.
Yeah, exactly.
They claimed that the real Bible is in Jerusalem. No, was it Jerusalem?
I think I heard that too. It may be Jerusalem, because I heard.
Yeah, like they say, like a whole bunch of people, like a whole bunch of security, like they guided, like you can't like go to. It's like the Declaration of Independence, like that's how viable it is. But me is that I read the Bible time to time, but then again that goes back to like you don't have to always read it. I always felt like you read it when you want to, when you need it, in terms of like when you need a message. And you write like it's like it like people rewrite it. The man, people tend to forget the man wrote the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Beginning to end. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it just like growing up. I went to a Catholic church, not Catholic church, a Catholic school. My church is Episcopal, so it's like it's kind of close. We like cousins to the Catholics. So, but they see us as what they call it? Damn, what's the word? Damn, I forgot the name. Damn, I forgot.
I wouldn't help you, but I don't know.
I forgot, because like you got either back in the day either you Christian or you're Catholic or whatever. I forgot the name of the damn thing. But anyway, but they used to always tell us about sin and the different sins and things like that. And, you know, it's important to read the Bible every day and things like that. I don't know. I just never been that type of person to, like...
You talking about, like, Jehovah's Witnesses? Mormons?
Them type of people. Mm-hmm. Like...
Because I had some Mormons come over my house one day, like, trying to tell me about the Bible, like, a different Bible, though. Like, not the Holy Bible, King James, but... a different Bible, but
I mean, shout out to them. I don't have no, you know, I ain't have nothing against them. My only thing with, especially with Jehovah's Witnesses, I feel like they try to force you in it. Yeah. You can't force somebody to believe in something. Right. You know what I'm saying? It
knocking
just
on doors and stuff like that. I always felt like that was a bit much, but in a way, spiritually, I understood because, you know, in the Bible it speaks of us, you know, going out and helping those that are lost, you know. But when they wake up early in the morning, come knocking at your door at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you're not even up yet. That's my only problem.
Yeah.
But I was young back then. They don't do that as much as they did back in the days. Like, I don't get no Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on my door.
Because of Friday.
Huh?
Because of Friday. You know the movie Friday?
You think that's why?
Yeah, when I'll just play.
I would say that's why.
But the other track, because you know this is a great conversation. But I don't want to forget about the Cool Kids track. You was telling me about a little bit about like why you wrote it and stuff like that before the podcast, but I want you to, you know, share with the people and what's the story behind it and the process of doing it. Because it's an awesome track.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you. When I wrote the track, it was pretty much based off of my social life, which is like non-existent. You know, I don't really have like friends that I hang out with like on a consistent basis. You know, it's every once in a while, and I always appreciate any time I hang out with, you know, cool people. But I was never cool, you know. I was never popular. I was never friends with the popular kids. I mean, I would say hey or whatever, but, you know, I just knew that what they wanted or what they expected from me, I didn't have that. So I wasn't going to fake like that was me. Like, I just stayed to myself. I kept my mouth closed and I observed. And that's pretty much what the Cool Kids about, is just my observations of just what it takes to be, you know, cool and all of that. But I know so many kids that were bullied back in the day. They have their own businesses. They're shooting. They're making music. Ken Jones.
Oh yeah, Ken.
He's my classmate.
Is Ken Jones? I thought he was from Tallahassee.
I mean, to me, I don't know his story. I just know I've been his classmate since the 9th grade in high school.
So he's from Broward? Or
I don't know if he maybe moved to Broward, you know. I don't, because I wasn't from Fort Lauderdale, so I didn't know anyone. I don't know if maybe he moved to Fort Lauderdale his freshman year in high school. All I know is that he's been at my school since my freshman year, and I don't know his story. So if he says he's from Tallahassee, then I assume
no, because on the show he said he was from Miami. But I remember in the bio he was from like Tallahassee. I don't know. You know what? Us Floridians, we move around a lot within the state.
Real.
Like I knew people from down south, you know, South Miami that move up to like Orlando and stuff. So
I just know that with Ken Jones, he was talked about a lot. Like, kids picked on him. He didn't care. He didn't let it like bother him. He didn't let it, you know. He was very goofy and very like, don't quote me on this, is what they say, corny. People thought he was very corny. I hear all the time, like throughout our entire school year, that he was corny, but I knew him. I was actually friends with him. Like, I knew him personally because of music, and he was very, very talented, like from the jump. Like, man he produces his beats, he plays instruments, he sings, he raps, he does all of that, and he also was, you know, using the studio at the high school as well, in which sometimes they would air their music on the intercom, like, or whatever like that. So he was doing his thing. So just because those cool kids, you feel me, didn't understand him or whatever, it didn't change the fact that this guy is talented and his future is undeniable. So, like, look at him now. It's like, he may corny because